Alright, yo, what up? This is your all shook up. Just gonna show a build video, dot build, getting ready for the new update. Looks like dot builds are gonna be pretty strong, so kind of want to get used to playing it, and it also gives me a different play style. Definitely appreciate you guys. Before we get into the build, just gotta say thank you guys so much. If you guys want to see live gameplay, I live stream Sundays and Tuesdays. Basically, never miss YouTube and Twitch. So that's kind of what I like to do. I am trying to get a series together where I'm going over the best plays of the week or best plays of the month or whatever. So I'm trying to figure that out. So if you also are interested in that, I do have a Discord. You can definitely shoot me, a video that you have. So with all that said, let's get into the build. Now, I know dot builds right now, they're still pretty strong. I really worked on this build. I really enjoy this one. So we're going to get into the stats. So right now I got 36,000 spell resistance, almost 37, 35 physical, almost 36, 3,000 critical resist, 1,100 recoveries, basically 33,000 health, 27,000 max stam. You're very tanky. You got 24.4% crit. I mean, you're real tanky on this build, and it kind of synergizes together very well. So let's go to the front bar. Take a look at this. We got 34,000 spell resistance, 33,000 on the front bar. Very strong. 2,900 critical, and then 930 recovery, 912 recovery. So stamina recovery, 930. Magical recovery, 912. Like I said, you got pretty good damage. You basically have 5,000 weapon damage, but it goes up for what sets you're wearing. 24.4% crit, 9,854 I can't think, physical penetration, which also goes up. And you can see the stats right here, very strong. I'm running 24 into health, 40 into max stam. I'm running the lady, for that extra resistance. I am an ESO Plus member, and Bewitched Sugar Skulls is the food. Okay. So we'll get, also I wanted to let you know my race, Orc. It's probably going to change to Dark Elf, but I am running Orc. Mostly the reason why is increases your spell and damage, and then the speed, right? And then increases your health, and then you get healing every 4 seconds, and this 1,000. But with Dark Elf, you get flame resistance. Everybody's going to be running that, basically everybody's trying to run, dot builds. So, even look at me here, right? So we're going to get into the sets. Now, it's actually different, believe it or not. We're running Oak Fathers. Not much difference, but Oak Fathers. The reason we're running Oak Fathers is because it's a dot build, and this set really pairs well. Now, I don't think you have to switch to Maul. I think Sword with Sharpen is just fine. You basically get the damage, and then I want to run a weapon damage and trait. So your damage gets pretty high with this, because you essentially with Oak Fathers you get damage, right? Then you gain 449 offensive penetration against enemies for each major buff they have active. Gain 20 weapon and spell damage against enemies for each minor buff they have active. So it literally shoots up pretty hard. This set is amazing. Love Oak Fathers. Always was a huge Oak Fathers guy, but not Essence this time. And then Wretched Vitality. With the Doc DK build that I got going on here, I just need the recoveries. Now, you could go Rally and use Rosca as a recovery, but we're doing a little something different. So this set didn't change, but essentially I like this poison, kind of helps me out, burn through their sustain, and I'm using defending on the back, and then I'm using, same thing, Wretched as before, multi-chat impin, and then my monster set is different. I'm using heavy helmet, but we got multi-chat impin, but what the set is Marsalok, right? This set is very good. Got to give a shout out to all the people that were watching me live stream. They told me to try this set. absolutely did not fail me. When you deal damage with a melee heavy attack, which is nice because that's how we get our recoveries back, you spew a cone of corruption, dealing 6,352 disease to enemies over 4 seconds. This damage is increased by 10% for each negative effect the enemy have upon up to max of 300%. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds, scales off of the weapon damage. Your got Oak Fathers, your weapon damage is, 6,000 plus, 7,000 after, you get that 3 something, then you get from, capping something, plus the way Oak Father scales, you hit extremely hard with this set. I really, really like this monster set. And I got a heavy for the helmet, one-piece trainee, very good set. It's multi-chant in-pin heavy and gives you max health. Now, the Marsalok medium shoulders, multi-chant in-pin, wretched, medium, multi-chant, not multi-chant, just stamina, and then in-pin, hands, heavy, multi-chant, in-pin, legs, is multi-chant, in-pin, and then feet, you got to go light because Oak Father's light set, multi-chant, in-pin. And then for the neck, this where it changed a little bit. I'm using a multi enchant that gives you 84 recovery. I know it doesn't seem like a lot. Protective, you see how tanky you are, so you can switch between if you want protective or infused. But right now, I got Oak Father's necklace with a tri-stat recovery. That 84 kind of does help because you're using your skills a lot. So, and then that protective to help with the tankiness. Mark of Majesty, got that infused with that weapon. If you have Monomyth would probably be great for this, and then run protective on here, and essentially you're going to be tanky and hit hard. So you can run Monomyth or Mark of Majesty. I don't have Monomyth, or I'd probably try to run that. But you can't go wrong with Mark and Ring of Majesty. So Oak Fathers, another multi-chant recovery, infused, get that recovery. Because you're going to be going through a lot of different, essentially, you're going to be going through sustain. And with the sets you're running, you get a lot of sustain, which is very good because you're just working them. Dots are damage over time, right? Literally, DoT, damage over time. A lot of dot pressure, and you want to keep that up, so you really want sustain, right? You're working them. And this right here, though, this hits hard, right? So you really can't go wrong with this set right here. This is, you could go Zan. Anything that gives dot pressure right now, I like this one. And then for the skill lines, we'll go over what skill lines. Animal Companion, Winter's Embrace, Ardent Flame. We can kind of break it down. Reason is, these passives, animal, anytime one of your skills ends, you heal. Cast an Animal Companion ability while you're in combat, generates 4 ultimate. This can occur once effect every 8 seconds. Increase your magicka and stamina recovery by 20%, which is clutch. And then, you don't really worry about this because I don't have anything on my front bar, but this is clutch if you want to move something around. Personally, not a big deal. Winter's Embrace. We're using this basically for the Northern Storm and these 2 skills, but increases your chance to apply chill status effect by 250% and increase its damage by 438. The damage increases effect scales off the higher of your weapon and spell damage. Increase your physical and spell resistance by 1,240 for each Winter's Embrace ability slotted. 248, nice. When you take direct damage from an enemy melee range, you apply a stack of Bite Winter to them for 3 seconds, up to 5 seconds. 5 stacks max. Attackers at max stacks are affected with Major Main for 3 seconds, reducing their damage done by 10%. Super good skill line. Increase the amount of damage you block by 8% and increase your frost damage by 15%. Another clutch. And I'm going to show you the rotation, so it should help. If you watch till the end, you'll be able to kind of see the rotation. Ardent Flame increases the damage of your burning and poison status effects by 33%. When you apply burning or poison to an enemy, you restore 423 magicka and stamina. This effect can occur every 3 seconds. Very good, very strong. When you deal direct damage with an Art of Flame ability, your damage over time attacks deals 6% increased damage to the target and reduce their movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. Beautiful. Increase the damage over time of Fiery Breath, Snaring Strikes, and Dragon's Knight standard ability by 25% and the duration by 4 seconds. Increase the damage of flame and poison attacks by 5%. So perfect, right? Very good, very strong. Now, we'll go over the skill lines. So on my front bar, right, we are running Arctic Blast. Super strong. You basically do some damage to them. If their damage is not done, you heal. But also, the wind persists for 20 seconds and chills foes to the bone, dealing 1,098 frost damage every 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, the damage has a higher chance of applying the chilled status effect. Stuns enemies after the delay for 3 seconds. Very nice. Flames of Oblivion. Really, you're getting your crit from this. Super nice. And then also, when you hit this skill, you're able to, make this stronger, basically. Venomous Claw, man. Very, very strong skill. I actually really like this skill. I'm actually kind of surprised how decent this skill is. Basically, you deal 433 poison damage and additional 18,120 poison damage over 24 seconds. The poison seeps into the target, dealing increased damage the longer it lasts, dealing 12% more damage every 2 seconds. So you just basically apply this, and then you kind of just heavy attack with the monster set, and this thing actually hits extremely hard, right? You just kind of, if you see him cleanse it, you want to reapply it, but it's super strong. Now this is Molten Whip. Very, very strong skill. Lashes an enemy with flame, dealing 8,665 flame damage. If you strike an enemy that is immobilized or stunned, you set them off balance. Basically, stun them, set them off balance. See what I'm saying? Whenever you active a different Ardent Flame ability while in combat, you gain a stack of Seething Fury, increasing the damage of your next Molten Whip by 20% and your weapon and spell damage by 150 for 15 seconds. This effect can stack up to 3 times. See what I'm saying? So this really, really is clutch. All right, super strong, super strong. And then I use this. Exhale Corrosive Blast enemies in front of you, dealing 6,368 poison damage, immediate applying the poison status effect, and an additional 15,588 poison damage over 24 seconds. The initial hit applies the breach to enemies for the duration, reducing their physical and spell damage by 5,948. Super, super strong. Love this skill. This little combo right here is actually kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. With Oak Fathers, I mean, it's pretty hard. And then you just destroy them with Northern Storm. So you basically applying everything, right? And then you're setting this off while they're off balance. And then you reapply all this. And then you hit them with... And then you got Martial Lock doing a lot of work. I mean, this is a lot of dot damage. Twist a violent storm around you, dealing 4,399 frost damage every 1 second for 8 seconds to enemies around you, reducing their movement speed by 40%. As the storm holds your damage done, increase by 2% every 1 second for 12 seconds up to 9 stacks max. You and nearby allies gain major protection, reducing your damage taken by 10%. So you're also very tanky. Super strong. Love Northern Storm. Now, back bar. Vigor. Super strong heal, man. At the end of the day, we all know this set. Gives you also some, resistance for 20 seconds. You can't go wrong with this. Right now, best burst heal in the game. I mean, in my opinion, maybe Corrosive. I mean, not Corrosive. What's the other one that the DK has now? I can't even think. Coagulating Blood and Honor of the Dead. Those are also really good too, but we're not using those. So, Healing Soul, super strong. I basically, so the major, this isn't, I have a Scribe Altar right here. So you got your heal, you got this, and then you want to do this one. Not that, I don't know why I had that there. That's because probably from another build. But essentially, oops, why did I clear that? There we go. So healing soul, right? You know, you heal over time, and then grants you major vitality for 10 seconds, increasing healing received and damage shield strength by 12%. Super strong, right? Super strong heal. And then Bull Netch. You can't go wrong with this. You get stamina, you get damage, and it counteracts the meta. Basically, you're just trying to clear all those, you know, dots off of you by spamming this, which is taking negative effects off of you. And if there is no negative effects on you, your damage gets increased by 5%. Can't go wrong with this kind of skill. Super strong, super reliable, and it's free. And then Ice Fortress, very strong. Love this. It really wrap a thick cloak around you, ice of ice around you and grouped allies. This ice gives you major resolve, but it's crazy because it's for 30 seconds. It's insane. You gain minor protection, reducing your damage taken by 5% for 30 seconds. Super, super strong. You know, in general, basically resistance skill. And then Predator, Deceptive Predator. You gotta, this is a clutch skill, you know, gives you speed. It reduces your damage attacks from area attacks, and you gain immunity snare immobilized for 4 seconds. You really just can't go wrong with this. And then Spell Wall, super strong. You don't want to die. You pop this, you hit all these, you get out, you're alive. So super, super strong build. I really enjoy this build. Let me give you the champion points. Champion points for this: Master in Arms, Deadly Aim, Ironclad, Resilience. These are super clutch. I just wouldn't really recommend anything else, to be honest. And then Survival Instincts, Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, and Fortified. Now, you could change Fortified to, I don't know, maybe Relentless, but to be honest, it's just that extra tankiness. Right now, everybody hits so hard, that extra tankiness really helps. So I got all that. Got the Munda Stone. I already told you guys about the Munda Stone. I'm the lady, just in case I didn't. Saying it again. But yeah, now we're going to get into basically how you want to set this up, right? So remember, you got, see that right there? So let's get our, so you really want to, because you could, when you do your burst, so see, the longer that holds, so it's almost better. So you got 17 seconds, 16 seconds on that, right? So, you know, it's almost better to apply this, like to apply, it's almost better to, you see, like when you hit someone with that, I'm trying to get the Northern Storm, but when you get the Northern Storm, I mean, your damage gets up there pretty high. See, like, you're essentially, you're not running Balor. So once you get the Northern Storm, you could essentially, like, even what's cool is on your back bar, you could take pressure off of you with your back bar by just holding this. But essentially what you're going to do is, this is how I like to play this. Okay. So now that we got Northern Storm, so let's just say I'm coming up to somebody, right? I'm running. I'm like, oh, there's a guy right here. I like to kind of hit my back bar first, right? And then I'll apply this. Well, actually, what I'll do, here, let's do that again. So what I'll do is I'll make sure all my stuff's buffed. I know that that's 30 seconds. I know that that's 20 seconds. So I'm going to hit this, right? I'm going to apply this. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to let that play out. I'm going to try to stun him, right? Then I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go through the rotation again, right? Kind of let everything apply. I got 3. Now we hit the Northern Storm, and then you just work them, and you know you got the 3, and you try to let the claw play out. If you can, you hit this again, you hit this, and then boom. You see how the whip and that martial law came off at the same time? That's essentially what you want to try to do, is you want to try to time it with martial lock. So even if you don't have your, you know, you got your 3 in the back, so you could kind of, you don't really have to. You kind of let everything play out, and then you see that with that. And then if you're gonna spam anything, I would, instead of spamming claw, like some guy was telling me, it's better to spam noxious breath, because essentially a noxious breath is like, you want to let this play out, the venomous claw, as much as you can, because it only ticks harder as time goes on. So it's kind of slept on. So essentially, you want to kind of, you got your heavy attack. So you're going to kind of try to redo the rotation. So let's just pretend we don't have that. Okay, we don't have any buff up right now, right? So we're going to pretend like none of the claws up or none of that, right? So we're going to hit this, kind of stun them, hit them again with this, and then, you see? So, okay, let's see how that comes. Now we know we got Northern Storm, so we can kind of reapply everything, get your back bar, kind of, fill everything out, hit this. Now we want to stun them, right? So they're probably frozen now. The stun is just an extra bonus. Now you want to do this, and then there you go. So then essentially all you're doing is working them. You're trying to keep them, in front of you while you hit them. So it's a fun build, very strong. If you guys want to see me play this live, like I said, I live stream Sundays and Tuesdays. If I forgot anything that you wanted me to go over, just let me know in the comments section. I'll comment you back as quick as I can. I'm always working. So once again, definitely appreciate all your guys' support. Can't thank you enough. Take it easy. Out.